Hey guys, this is another episode of CEO versus Intern. We got Bridie here with us in the studio. She's doing an internship here at Best Practice. Really excited to be chatting to her. I love these questions because it can kind of bring out some of the knowledge that I've got. So if you are somebody who is finishing uni, or you know someone who's finishing uni or finishing school, in this episode of Ask Kobi on the Kobi Simmat audio experience, we're talking about some of Bridie's concepts, questions, thoughts around what she's thinking about as she finishes her college diploma, gets out into the workforce. So hope you enjoy this episode. If there are comments or if there are questions, comment below. If you are watching this as a video, if you are listening to this podcast, we are on the Kobi Simmat audio experience. Please reach out to me with a direct message on Instagram or on LinkedIn. If you've got a question, more than happy to help. If you're interested in an internship here at Best Practice in the marketing team or the sales team or any of the sort of admin teams here at Best Practice, reach out to us because we're always looking for more interns. So if you're somebody who hasn't got any experience and you want some experience, more than happy to talk to you about bringing you on board into the team and teaching you what we know.
So how to get recognition in such a saturated market at the moment?
For you or us?
Yeah, for me.
For you?
In the marketing market, I feel like it's pretty saturated. There's so many people in it, and just how to make yourself recognized and pretty much better than anyone else.
Okay. Good question. I think it comes back to a question about what I would value. So you've got to think about customer. So you go to the shops or you're online shopping, you think about what you value and why the products and services that you're buying, why they stand out. So how to make yourself, so my hack would be, or my tips for you guys would be in terms of how to make yourself valuable, is offer advice and support around the challenges that your audience, your boss, employer has. What do I mean by that? Too often we're kind of in our own head about I should do this or maybe I should do this, instead of actually going to an organisation like us and saying, what are you guys trying to achieve? What are the goals that you guys have got? We're trying to get more traction on LinkedIn, more traction on Instagram. Obviously we're trying to come down the funnel, the marketing funnel, like different kinds of tactics. You know, from traction on social media to traction in our emails to traction in inquiries to quotes out to deals closed to do work to pay everyone's wages and salaries. That's kind of the cash flow, if you like. And so right here for us, like sales are a challenge for us. Like we're not hitting the kind of sales numbers that we want. What are we doing in response to that? Training our sales team, increasing our marketing. So if you're going into an organization and your question is, back to your question, so I'm making sure I'm answering it. How do you get traction? How do you kind of get how do you get known? How do you land a job? How do I get a job so I can earn income? Basically, how do I get started with my career? We have to remember that we're going in to join a team. And then that team's going to have challenges, it's going to have positions, it's going to have things that we need to solve, the team's trying to solve. You're going in to be a player in that team. So the first thing you can be doing is asking a question, what's missing from that team? What's the challenge that team's trying to solve? And if you can stop worrying about yourself and worrying about the team. So when you go for an interview or you go to talk to people, you say, well, what are the goals you guys have got? What are you guys trying to achieve? What are some of the challenges you've got? What are some of the problems? And we talk about massive information gathering, but you do your information gathering, you take it away and think about it and you go, well, hang on a minute, actually, I can help with that. I'd be interested in helping with that. I'd be excited to help with that. Because with someone who's got limited to no experience starting in their career, that's what I'm looking for as an employer. I'm looking for someone to come in and say, hey, I'm listening for people. So I'm really excited. I want to give that a go. I want to give it a try. Instead, like we've had some recent applicants that have come in and gone, I suppose I could help with that. It's like, well, I don't want to hire you. I want to hear, I'd be really excited to help with that. That'd be awesome if I could come and help with that. In fact, I'm going to come and do some voluntary work for you because I'm so excited to learn more. If you can promise that you'll teach me, I'll work for free. So in a flooded market right now, you've got to kind of be putting value forward. A lot of people who are failing to get jobs are like, I'm not doing anything until you start paying me. I'm like, how am I? So I'm taking the risk. So I'm going to give you some money and you may or may not be able to deliver. And you can kind of turn around and you can say, well, actually, why don't you take some of the risk? Why don't you say, let me prove myself. Let me come in and work for free and prove myself. You don't want people to take the piss, and people will. You've got to be careful about that. But I think we're past the time where people were like, I'll show you once you start paying me. So then I've got to take all the risk. And so I'm going to be overly cautious, and I'm going to be, it's going to be harder for people to get jobs. But if you're prepared to back yourself and say, okay, I do you a deal. I'll work for a week for free if you guarantee that you'll teach me some stuff. And if by the end of the week I can show you some of my skills, I can also work out if I'm super excited to work for you. And then if at the end of that week, if you can't live without me, or 2 weeks or whatever, then we'll agree that you'll either offer me a role or you'll give me a reference. Because I think the other thing too is that people are saying, I can't get a job unless I've got experience. So you're kind of doing the right thing, doing an internship.
Yeah, that was my aim.
You're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So the next philosophy that's worth remembering, and I've said it heaps, I'll say it again for you, it's not what you know, it's not who you know. Because people used to say it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not what you know, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. So prior to you walking in the door this morning, I didn't know you. So how would I know you from anybody else? All I know is I see black and white letters on a bit of paper that happen to be the same letters in the same order as your name. Then I see maybe some university qualifications and maybe some interest areas and maybe some voluntary work experience, but it's just a bit of paper. But what you did was you showed up here and you said, actually, I'm going to come in and I'm going to learn, I'm going to get some experience. Best Practice are offering this program, and like we talked about earlier, it's talent scouting.
Yeah.
So to give the kind of quick answer to the how do you get traction and how do you get noticed in a flooded market, throw out heaps of value and spend time networking and getting yourself known. Today you've just met, potentially met, and you'll build relationships with 20 people that you didn't know before.
Exactly. True.
Like that?
Yep.
Cool.
Good
Next
answer.
question.
Okay. What steps did you take out of uni to get to where you are today? Like, what were your main ones?
Okay, so you got to go back a few steps before that, and a few people know this story, but I fucked up high school.
Oh, okay.
I got really good at windsurfing.
Yeah.
I got really good at working and doing things that weren't school, and so I got a really, really low mark in what was called a TER. So it was
like your ATAR.
Yeah, so it was a score out of 100, and I got like 30 out of 100. School, I didn't know how to play the game at school. I wasn't interested in school. I wasn't being treated like an adult. At home and on the weekends, I'm being treated like an adult, and I was running a business, and then at going to school and getting treated like a child, and I didn't know how to play the game. Yeah. And so I didn't get a high enough score to go and do a college degree or a uni course. So what I actually did with my mum actually gave me an ultimatum. If you're not going to study and you're going to work, you'll need to pay board, and it'll need to be $300 a week. Yeah. If you're studying, you don't have to pay board. If you're studying full time, you don't have to pay board. And I was like, well, how am I going to get a job earning that much money to pay that board? I'm never going to make any spare money. Yeah. And I was kind of like, right. I didn't know where to go and get a job. I didn't know what to do. No one had kind of given me any advice, although I'd been working, and I kind of only had my little ecosystem where I'd been working a weekend job. There's no way that I could possibly earn enough money to actually pay the board, so I need to go and study. So I scraped together some information, a CV, and I went and applied for a TAFE course. Yeah. So I did a technical TAFE. Here in Australia, we call it TAFE, college course, full-time for 2 years. So from going from school where I couldn't get a question right in any exams, and I couldn't figure it out, and I couldn't do assignments, and I couldn't do anything, and I basically thought I was illiterate, I left school, I went to college, and I didn't get a question wrong. So I did 2 years at college. I did an associate diploma. It's a business diploma teaching me how to run a business. And I didn't get a question wrong. In 2 years, didn't get a question wrong. I couldn't make sense of it. I'm like, what is this stupid game? How are these people getting this shit wrong? It's easy. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, this shit's so easy. But I went from being treated like a child to being treated like an adult, where the teachers didn't care whether you passed or failed. Yeah. They were like, come here, do the work, we'll present to you, we'll help you if you want help, we won't help you if you don't want help. If you want help, ask for it. So I asked for help, didn't get a question wrong. Then I went into a university degree. So then I did 3 years. So I did 5 years of full-time study. I scraped myself into a university degree, kind of like this guy here, where we just got him into uni. So he didn't make the grades to get into uni straight out of school. He's worked here for full-time for a year, and just got himself into a degree at Macquarie University. Same story, or similar story, more talent than I had. So then I did 3 years at university. I got one question wrong in one exam in 3 years at uni. Wow. So high distinctions the whole way through, because I was like, I don't get it. Like, it's really simple. You just read the book, you answer the questions, happy days. So then from there, I basically bounced around doing some work in family businesses. I My dad worked for himself, so no one showed me that you could go get a job somewhere. I was like, none of my colleagues were kind of like friends that were like going and doing jobs, and for whatever reason I couldn't see that you could actually go online and get a job. And in fact, you couldn't go. When I finished school and finished university, there was no internet. So you couldn't just like jump on and like look. You had to wait for the newspaper to come out every Tuesday.
Yeah.
And that's how, or no one told me that recruiters existed. My dad probably didn't even know that recruiters existed, so I didn't know you could go get interviewed by someone or a headhunter or something. So you sit there and you wait for the newspaper to come out, and then you apply for jobs that are in the newspaper. Yeah. So what's happened, and people worked in jobs for much longer because they couldn't kind of shop for jobs. Yeah. Now you get the internet, you can jump on and you can go, right, I'm going to apply for stuff. Yeah. And you can get more information on organisations and brands and that kind of stuff. Back then, I probably would have been happy working for a sailing company or that made sails or surfboards or windsurfers or some shit like that. Yeah. But you're like, how do you approach those people? How do you get into those companies apart from door knocking? So, and I lived in a little village out on a river, and we just weren't exposed to kind of the big smoke, if you like. And so coming in from a little country town, now with the internet, it's kind of, you can do it from anywhere. So that was my journey. You know, I kind of did a couple of different jobs, and then eventually did a job in this industry, and then I'm unemployable basically. I wasn't very good at school, couldn't play the game, not very good dealing with bosses. I have natural leadership ability, so here we are today. Yeah. 20 years later. Yep.
Killed it.
Yep.
Okay, my next question. Any advice on how to stay relevant, especially with all the like automation going on at the moment and jobs being replaced by technology, and just trying to keep yourself upskilled, I guess? Like, what's your best advice on that?
One really simple thing. Jim Collins, in his book Good to Great, which I'm passionate about at the moment, he talks about a thing called the daily 20-mile march. So what he means by that is actually doing the grind on a day-to-day basis. So your question about staying relevant is, I would suggest anyone who doesn't yet have children and a family does 2 hours of professional reading every day. Yeah. Because you're going to run out of things to read, and you're going to go looking, and that's going to help your relevance, because you're going to find interest areas. You're going to become a knowledgeable person in your field, and when you talk to people, they're going to go, this person knows heaps, they're interesting. Yeah. So relevant, I associate the word relevance with interesting. So I read a lot, consume a lot, kind of investigate a lot, and so people would put a label on me, he's interesting. And it's because I know things that they don't know, and I've got things to talk about that are interesting. If I story top you, if I say, hey, me too, or mine's bigger than yours, you're going to go, oh, that's a bit cringy. Yeah. So you want to be changing the conversation and talking about something different mechanically. And so the hack or the tip for anyone who's kind of, leaving university, finish, or even at university, all of these things up here on this shelf behind us, they're not props. They're books that I've read, or I'm halfway through reading, or they're part of the business library. Yeah. They're $30. So it's kind of, if you're earning $25 an hour, it's kind of 1 hour working to go buy a book. There are books in here that have made me over $1 million. Yeah. $30. Luke asked me before about how do I take $1,000 and how do I 10x it? Well, I can show you how to buy a $30 book and turn it into $1 million.
Yeah, it's like investing in yourself.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So in terms of, and that's going to change over time, and I would give someone who's a bit further in their career and a bit more matured in their career path and their speciality, I'd give them a little bit of different advice. But for you guys, it's feel guilty if you're not reading for at least an hour every day.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah, cool. I have another question, but it kind of tied into my first question. Yep. You kind of answered it
That's
already,
right.
But it was, what skills do you look for and value from a graduate?
I don't look for skills. So graduates don't need skills. So if you're a graduate and you're going for a job and you're thinking about what to do after uni, don't worry about skills. Don't go get more qualifications. Focus on what you're passionate about. Focus on learning how to be passionate about something. We have 3 things we call get it, want it, capacity. Does the person get it? Do they want it? I'm looking for wants it. Do you just need money to go out clubbing and with your friends and drinking on the weekends? Or do you actually want to come in and do some meaningful work? I'm looking for people that want to come in and do some meaningful work. I'll pay them. Yeah. But I'm not looking for someone who just wants to come to work so they can earn money and they can leave. Yeah. I want someone who's serious about actually trying to solve problems and deal with challenges and actually get stuck into their career. Now, Lots of organisations are different.
Yeah.
There are employees and team members in our other businesses that they want to come in, put on the yellow vest, weld something, then go drink beer after work.
Yeah.
And that's their life, and we need them to be like that.
Yeah.
Because we're going to give them exactly the same thing to do every day for the next 5 years, and they're happy with that routine.
Yeah.
We'll give them a little bit of a pay increase because that's kind of the industry expectation. But you guys, particularly you guys in this room, you want to come and do meaningful work.
Yeah.
And I'm going to challenge you because I'm going to say, hey, like the meeting we had earlier today, I'm going to say, hey, let's look at that. Are you proud of that piece of work? No. Okay, well, let's do work that we're proud of, which means slowing down, not focusing on the output, concentrating on what we need to do. Yes, we need to get the work out. Like, we've got to ship the projects every day. Like, all those posts and learning Canva, that's about doing the creative work, and we've got to ship it. We've got to get it out, because if it's not out, no one sees it. And so we don't want to be holding back because we're trying to do our perception of quality.
Yeah.
What we want to do is get the stuff out there, but over time we want to be taking practice and improving as we go.
Cool. Okay. I am currently juggling 3 jobs, an intern, and uni. And I know you speak about like burning out and all that. With the amount of like workload and everything I have, do you think it's likely for that to happen to me, or should I just continue and push through, or slow down and enjoy my uni life?
Are you still living at home?
Yes.
Do you have to pay board?
No.
You need 3 jobs.
Yeah.
So you ask the question, am I doing 3 jobs because I can't say no to those people because I don't want to let them down?
Yeah.
I would say that's the case.
Yeah.
So I would think about cut one loose.
Yeah.
Cut the one that's like,
Yeah.
cut it loose. I think you do need to, if you are making a commitment to a career, like you've got this big debt, right?
Yeah.
That you're starting to build up, or you're paying for it or whatever. You've got an investment. You're making a big investment in a college degree, diploma, university degree, whatever you want to call it, wherever you are in the world watching this. Don't worry about paying that off right now.
Yeah.
So I would be focusing on getting the most out of the key, most important work that you're doing right now, which is your degree.
Yeah.
To have some money to spend, pick the job that pays the most.
Yeah.
And then you're doing the right thing from an internship perspective. But I would look to see if you can, like some of the people here at Best Practice after the intern program are working here as a casual, but they're getting 2 things at the same time. They're kind of getting an internship, but they're getting some casual money. So they're not getting a huge amount of money. Like, they could go do hospitality and earn more money on a Saturday night, but they're kind of getting their weekend back. So they're kind of starting a life.
Yeah.
And they're earning a little bit of money, but more than that, what I'm conscious of is making sure I'm teaching and learning and challenging.
Yeah,
and so
100%.
someone like Cam there is, he's kind of making that choice to actually go, I'm working in the field that I want to work in already before I've finished.
Exactly.
And he's accelerating ahead.
Yeah.
So when he finishes, he's going to be a graduate with experience.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, last question.
Which job's going to get the cut?
I think my nannying job, unfortunately.
There you go. Look, if you're not passionate about it and it's not a long-term thing, you got to diplomatically say, and you can say, look, I've made the decision.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I just want to let you know I've made the decision. I'm gonna pull back on this.
Yeah.
You guys need to make some other arrangements.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think it's definitely more of a loyalty thing than a realistic thing. If you weren't running this business currently, what would you be doing?
Like right now?
Yeah, like if
Probably
this never
working
happened.
On my boat. No, seriously. Yeah, if I wasn't doing this
Like
right
if you
now,
had to have another career or anything.
people have been asking me a lot about this lately, actually. If I was to start again.
Yeah.
And we are actually talking seriously about it, because we are talking about some acquisitions this year. And so I'm getting a chance to start again. I'm getting a chance to do something else. I don't know, probably start a marketing agency. What are you laughing at?
We both said real estate.
100%.
I could see that.
Absolutely.
I really could.
I definitely would. Would you both do real estate?
No, but we've heard you say it before.
Yeah. So I do like houses. I do like flipping houses.
Yep.
I've made more money out of flipping houses and renovating houses than I have out of business.
Yeah.
So I definitely think I could smash real estate, and maybe that's the business we should go buy. Maybe that's what we should do. We should just go, fuck this, like just start a real estate agency. Look at the social media that we do. We would kill them all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like real estate, and I can't actually think about why we wouldn't do that right now.
Yeah, it's booming, isn't it?
It's always booming. Like, it's just anywhere in the world. Like, people,
Yeah.
when the economy's going down, people are selling. When the economy's going up, people are
True.
buying. Someone's got to buy, someone's got to sell.
Very true.
Hey? It's no brainer.
Commission as well.
Absolutely. And you just look at, like, in cities, properties are turning over more regularly.
Yeah.
And I think there's an opportunity for the real estate industry to get disrupted anyway. It's already kind of getting commoditized on price. But I love houses and I love structures and I love architecture. And so I think that's because I love houses and I'm passionate about it and I'm passionate about spaces. We try to have a nice office, so you can already see that. I put the effort into it. I like renovating old shit, and I also like a deal. So I think you're
a bargain.
A bargain. And so I think as a real estate agent, you're kind of positioned well to find the bargains. So with a really good mortgage broker and some insight into the industry, I think real estate.
Cool.
Definitely. Yeah, and collecting shit. Yeah.
Don't want to be a hoarder though.
No. Well, properties, yes.
Yeah,
real
true.
estate, yeah. What else, or is that the last one?
That was my last question.
So, have you seen the checklist now?
Yes, I have.
What are you most excited to try?
I think looking into like Google ads and all that and the way that works and like search engine optimization. I really love numbers, weirdly.
Yep.
Love doing like accounting and finances.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah, so I like to like analyze numbers.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that would be cool doing the
So
analytical
why don't we
stuff.
give you an opportunity to do some like numbers things while you're here? You don't have to just kind of stick in marketing and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You could be looking at the bottom of the funnel is where the sales happen.
Yeah.
We have a big CRM that tracks all of the the deals we're doing and the sales we're doing and the closing and invoicing and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was looking at because I'm currently doing a Bachelor of Commerce majoring in marketing, and I was going to add a double major and do accounting as well, but I just still tossing up between it and just thought I'd put my foot through the door at marketing first, see how it goes. And
you've got a greater opportunity for financial upside in marketing.
Yeah.
Like, let me cut this really straight for everybody who's listening to this, that when you help businesses make money, you get paid more than when you help businesses save money.
Yeah.
So you're looking for volunteers or victims. So CFOs have kind of tapped out in terms of actually max earnings. There'll be some occasional people out there in industry that they're increasing their earnings based on financial performance of the organisations they're working for. But the introduction of Xero as a cloud-based bookkeeping system 4 or 5 years ago into small to medium enterprise globally has actually removed a significant chunk of the accounting industry.
Exactly.
And so, like, our system here, the accounts receivable is kind of all automated.
That's exactly where I was getting at before. Because, like, it's all automation at the moment.
So I would stay away from finance.
Yeah.
You could kind of consider strategy.
It's probably more like IT services these days. It's a place to go into.
Yeah. But definitely marketing, or if you're going to go into finance, I'd try to pick a trending industry. So I'd try to pick finance in the tech industry, but not finance in a traditional older declining industry.
Books.
Correct. Exactly right. So there's definitely some interesting stuff happening with tech and IT and software. But if you look at our business here, we've got two key software packages that we use. They save us probably 5 years ago, we would have had 4 people doing those jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's why I think trying to mix my love for numbers and everything into marketing and looking into consumer behavior and and analysing the data and everything and then taking from it and realising how we can work upon it and get more interaction and stuff is my calling maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right, awesome.
Yeah.